Hello Kids World, my name is Miss Jess and welcome to this week's Monday Funday. Today we're going to be making at-home Pop-Tarts with only 3 ingredients. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is wash our hands. It's very important for us to wash our hands so that any germs we have on our hands doesn't get on our food when we're cooking or baking it. And the second thing we're going to do is preheat the oven. Now kiddos, this is a time to ask your parents to help you preheat the oven. I have my oven started and we set that to 425 degrees. Now we're ready to get baking. So the first thing you're going to need is 2 pie crusts. 2 refrigerated pie crusts from any store. I bought mine from Meijer and this is what they look like when they come out of the package. So what you're going to do is you're going to open those and you're going to roll one out nice and flat onto your cutting board. Rolled out, the next thing I'm going to do is cut my crust into 8 equal rectangles. Since we're using a knife here, this is a time for you kiddos to ask your parents to help you out. We don't want anybody getting hurt with a knife. Now that my pieces are all cut, the next thing I'm going to do is grab a cookie tray with some parchment paper on it and place that right next to my cutting board. I am going to then take my pieces of pie crust and I'm going to lay them out on my cookie sheet, making sure that they're an equal distance apart. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my strawberry jam and I'm going to place that in the center of each of my pie crust pieces. Now you could use Nutella, marshmallow fluff, or any other kind of filling you want, but today I'm using strawberry jam. So I'm going to open my jam and I'm going to get out a spoon and I'm going to scoop about this much. And I'm going to plop that right in the center of each of my rectangles. So now I have placed all of my jam in the center of my pie crust pieces. Make sure you keep it in the center and away from the edges so it doesn't spill out. For the next step, we're going to repeat the same thing that we did with our first pie crust with our second pie crust. Now that I have my second set of pie crust cut into 8 pieces, I'm going to place those on top of the ones with the strawberry jam on them. So now I've placed my second pieces of pie crust on top of the ones with the jam on it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a fork and you're going to use it to press around the edges, sealing in the jelly, making sure that none will spill out. After you've sealed all the edges with the fork, it should look something like this. The little edges all around, you can see the fork marks, sealing in our jelly. It's okay if some of your jelly spilled out a little bit, mine did too. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to place these in the oven and they're going to bake for 10 minutes. As we wait for our Pop-Tarts to cook, I wanted to share with you guys a verse that has been really helpful to me in kind of this crazy time we're living in right now. And that verse is Habakkuk 2:3. Habakkuk is in the Old Testament, and it's probably a book that we don't really think about a lot, but it's got a lot of wisdom there. So in Habakkuk 2:3, part of the verse says, "Though it linger, wait for it." And linger means it's kind of far off in the future, it's not here yet, we're waiting for it to happen. And so, as the verse says, though it linger, though it's far off and we can't really see it yet, wait for it. It's kind of like when we're baking our Pop-Tarts. Though we linger and we wait for them to finish cooking, we have to be patient and we wait for them because we wouldn't want to have undercooked Pop-Tarts. In the same way, God wants us to wait for the things He has in store for us, because if we try to hurry to them too soon, they won't be to the full greatness that God has in store for us. The next thing that we're going to do while our Pop-Tarts are baking is make our frosting. So you're going to need a bowl and some measuring cups and measuring spoons. I picked KidsWorld colors. You're going to need some powdered sugar and some milk. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Make sure it's nice and leveled and even, and you're going to put that in your bowl. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 tablespoon of milk and we're gonna pour that in with our powdered sugar. After we have our milk poured in, we're gonna take a spoon and we're gonna mix our milk and our powdered sugar together. If your frosting is too thick, you can add some milk, and if it's too thin, add a little bit more of powdered sugar. Alrighty, I pulled the Pop-Tarts out of the oven, and I'm gonna let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and put my frosting on top. Alright Kids World, well I had so much fun making homemade Pop-Tarts with you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and know that everyone at Kids World loves and misses you guys very much.